Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So as you can see by the title, we have an incredibly exciting video today, and I'm literally like so excited to get into this vlog, and that is reading one of my most anticipated releases of 2026, which is Daybreak by Autumn Woods. So if you have not heard of this duology, these books, this is the second book to the Sorrow Song University duology. So the first one is called Nightshade, and it basically follows Ophelia Winters, who goes to Sorrow Song University. She gets a scholarship there, and her parents accidentally died at that university. So she is taking this opportunity to investigate her parents' accidental deaths, because she does not believe they were accidental. She believes that they were murdered. So she goes to this university and she meets Alex Corbo Green, and he happens to be the prime suspect's son. So she wants to avoid him at all costs, but you know, of course that doesn't happen. And with all this going on as well, she also has a stalker who is a very serious stalker, and Alex ends up becoming an ally, an alibi, and someone who can help her throughout this situation. Now, I gave this a 5 stars. I absolutely loved this book. Like, the chemistry between Alex and Ophelia, unmatched. So good. Now, the ending of Nightshade was devastating and despicable, because the cliffhanger, the way Autumn Woods left us on Nightshade, was actually not okay. I immediately pre-ordered Daybreak whenever I could, and Daybreak is actually supposed to release today, which is the 28th of July. But I went to the cinema yesterday and I went shopping beforehand, and tell me why I found Daybreak in the works. So I've heard that the works do actually release their books a little bit earlier, so I went to go check in my works, and there it was, standing proudly on the shelf, and I was just in shock, and I was like, oh my god. Immediately got it. This was actually £6 as well. £6, that's crazy. The works prices are crazy. So I actually ended up cancelling my pre-order on Amazon because that was £9 and it was just like the basic cover, whereas this one is obviously like a special edition. I absolutely love the art. I just think it represents them so well. I love the colour, everything is just stunning. And then look at the edges, guys. You're joking. You are joking. Look at that. That is insane. Yes, I'm so excited for this. I'm so incredibly excited. And this is what this vlog is going to be about. We are going to be reading this book. Now, it's going to be non-spoiler, but if there is anything that I want to talk about really badly that is a spoiler, or there's something I just can't help but resist but tell you guys about, then I will say there's a spoiler coming up, skip to this time if you don't want to see it. So I have my book, I have my cup of tea, and we're just gonna get straight into it. I think I'm gonna read until my cup of tea is gone, and then I'll update you, because then I actually need to get some other things done today. So yeah. Okay, so I have got 25 pages in, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but there's quite a bit already happening. So Alex is obviously in New York with his sisters now and trying to control the damage that obviously Ophelia's document thing did. And I completely forgot, obviously he's basically the parent to his sisters now. He has 5 sisters, I want to say, and so he's basically the parent of them. So that's really sweet, seeing all that kind of stuff. His mom, it's so sad, with his mom, his dad is missing, the FBI can't find him or anything, and he misses Ophelia a lot, but he's obviously conflicted because, you know, she betrayed him, but he still loves her, and he knows that she most probably didn't want that to happen. I just want to say as well, I absolutely love Autumnwood's writing. Like, the way she does it, like, I'm immediately hooked in just from the first chapter, but the way she just, like, describes just the most, like, mundane things just is so good. I just want to read this one. She becomes every thought I have and every shaky exhale I make. She is the subject of my most rattling nightmares and my most carnal dreams. Without her soft eyes, miserable cynicism, I don't know if I've said that right, and a runny nose, my life has faded back to grey. It would sting less if I hadn't had a taste of how sweet the other colours could be. So that's just that. So that is the first chapter. I'm already very hooked. I'm already loving, and I'm so excited for when they finally like meet or something. Like, obviously Ophelia has a stalker again, and we got like an anonymous POV at the start, which was obviously the stalker, and I think obviously something might happen to Ophelia that then makes Alex have to go get her or something. I don't know. So it has been a couple hours since I last saw you guys, and I have such exciting news. So I'm editing, right? I cut down a video, so I got that done, but I'm mid cutting down my video, right? Okay, I get a vibration on my phone. So I got invited to the Fairy Loot subscription. I haven't actually been on it that long, so I signed up to like pretty much every Fairy Loot subscription there was. I signed up in June, but I did sign up for the YA item ones in like a few months ago, but I definitely would not say it's been over 3-4 months. I would not say it's been over that. So I feel like that's pretty quick to be invited. But yeah, so I finally got the email. I've literally been talking so much to my boyfriend of how much I want this subscription, like an Illumicrate, Fairy Loot, whatever. Like, I've been looking into it for ages because I love special editions. I love like the 4 items you can get, and yeah, it's just something I've always wanted. And I finally got it. I'm literally so excited. So I've signed up for it. We are officially subscribed. So my first box will be next month for August. I don't really mind what the books are though, because the bookish items are just stunning anyway. So no matter what, like, I'm gonna love them. Like, I'm just happy to freaking have the subscription at this point. If I don't like them, I know a lot of people sell them on Vinted, so I'll basically just put them on there. But I'm not gonna be like one of those who sells it for like ridiculous amounts. But almost, if I do, like, if I think it's going to be a waste on me, then, you know, I'll most probably just do that. However, the book I will be keeping. So this is going to be my first ever Fairy Loot book, my first ever, like, proper, like, full, fancy, crazy book, and I'm literally so excited. But the next update will be when I've actually read more of the book, but I just had to tell you guys this news. So yeah, and my dog is looking really cute right now. Such a little baby. Anyways, yeah. Okay, so it is later in the day. It's currently 10 p.m. and I've been reading for like the past hour or so. And I've gotten some decent progress. I am now on page 102 out of 393 pages. And I have a few little updates and things to talk about. First of all, this duology and like the way Autumnwood writes is, I find her books very addicting, very easily like readable, like bingeable books, because like I said, it's one of those where like you're reading and you don't really know what the time passing. I look up and I'm already 102 pages in and I'm like, where did that time go? How did I get back to 102 pages? And I think I said it in the earlier clip, I love how Autumnwood makes the most kind of like basic things seem like, she describes them just so beautifully and really well written. I love that about her writing. And I noted down one of the bits that I really enjoyed, and it was like just describing loneliness, and this is kind of another example of her writing and just kind of what I appreciate about it. So it says, loneliness is like a physical presence in my life, a person more than it is a feeling, faceless, nameless, back turned to me, teasing and taunting, laughing at me whenever I have to eat dinner alone. Yeah, I know it's like nothing crazy, but just the way she writes about certain things and how she describes things and the way she writes her dialogue and the emotions felt by the characters, like it really like yeah, I really, really like it. And so far, kind of what's happened is obviously they are dealing with the aftermath of this leak that's gone into the media about the green company and everything, and about Alex and his father and his mom. It's like really angsty and good because like they both obviously still love each other. Ophelia feels guilty over what's happened, but she also feels anger at Alex for just leaving and not trying to speak to her, not trying to work it out, blocking her. She's obviously dealing with now another stalker. Everyone at Sorrow Song hates her. But then on the other hand, Alex is now the CAO of a company he didn't want. He's dealing with 5 sisters. He's dealing with the guilt of leaving Ophelia in this position, and also with anger and hurt at what Ophelia hid from him and what she has kind of caused to his family. And then he's also dealing with his mother and her illness. So there is just so much stacked on the both of them, that they are both in such positions of like grief and hurt and pain. And yeah, the way she's written that inner turmoil is amazing, and it really gets you kind of feeling it and feeling what they would be feeling as well, like in their position. And in the last chapter I read, they have finally met again. And again, like I said, it's just so much angst and like, ooh, I just can't wait for them to like resolve things. But I think it's going to be a difficult, long journey. But I think that's definitely the way it needs to be for this book. You know, if it was done like that, you'd be like, bruh, like, oh, where was the groveling? Where was the making up to each other, you know? They love each other so much, but they just, yeah, there's just so much hurt involved that it's like, how do you actually overcome this? How do you actually move on from this? Especially when there's so many people involved. Like the whole world is involved at this point because everyone knows. So yeah, that's my update on Daybreak. Okay, we are back for another update. It is actually the next night, so from the last clip, it's been a whole day. I've been to work. It was okay, you know, but I wasn't really feeling it. I don't think I ever feel work, if I'm being quite honest. But I got home, I've washed my hair. That is why my hair is in the clip, because it's like how I like to get a bit of volume in my roots. I really want a haircut soon though. But I've just been reading for about an hour-ish, and then I thought I'd give you an update now because some more things have developed. So we're at a point where obviously there is so much going on with what's gone down with Ophelia and Alex, but not only are they now kind of going through all of that, Ophelia and Alex in a way are now thinking, even if we got through all this, even if we moved on from the trust issues and everything that's gone down, what do we then do after? Like, where do we go? Because Ophelia will not move to US and Alex will not move to Scotland. So they're now saying like, are we even right? Well, Ophelia is mainly saying like, are we even right for each other? Like, we love each other, but maybe like we're in the wrong universe. That's what Ophelia says, we're in the wrong universe, which is so sad. And I know they're gonna work it out. Maybe they like meet in a middle ground or something, and like, because obviously he's got all his sisters that he has to look after, so that's the only way I see it working, like a middle ground where they can both kind of move. I don't know. The little thing that I really like about this so far is every single chapter in Alex's POV starts with an email, and obviously in the first book they would email each other like a word and a definition that has kind of something to do with how they're feeling or the conversation. So yeah, that's been really fun to read as well, because it's really cute because he says the sweetest things in these emails. Like they're kind of like the things he wants to say to her but is too afraid to say. Breathing, verb, harder than they'd have you believe. Twice in my adult life, I've forgotten how to inhale. Both times involved you in a backless dress. Like, that is so cute. Okay, now we're gonna get on to who the stalker I think could be, like my theories. So I don't know whether you would consider this a spoiler or not. So if you don't want to hear about the theories, I'm going to be talking about potential suspects. So if you don't want to know that, then skip to this point, and that is when we will all be done with this theories. But if you don't mind, then continue watching. So I am a bit puzzled on who this could be. Like, I'm trying to think through people, and I don't really know, but we're gonna throw some names out there. Obviously, Kane, his dad, I don't think it's that. First of all, I think it's way too obvious. They've mentioned it several times. However, it could be one of those where, because it is so obvious, like it's hidden in plain sight, it then could be him, but I don't think it will, and I think I'd be a bit disappointed if it was him. But there is also that still going on, like his dad is missing, so that's another thing I completely kind of forgot that's in the mix as well. Then I thought, could it be one of his sisters? Could it be Fleur, who's very kind of, she's lashing out at what's going on, she's not handling it very well at all, which, you know, valid, you know, it's a really tough time for the sisters and things. But then in the anonymous POV at the start, which is obviously the stalker's POV, it says that she wants Ophelia and Alex to die, and I don't see that being his sister because they're such like a tight knit group. And also it says that they're in like a rundown motel, so why on earth would be Fleur be in a rundown motel when, you know, their family is mega rich? So, but I think it's a girl, I think it's a woman, because they seem to be a bit jealous of Ophelia and her connection with Alex. So I think it's a woman, but I just don't know who it could be. I'm very kind of stumped on who the actual stalker is, which is good though, which is very good, because then obviously hopefully I will be surprised. So I like that, because I think that's a good sign of a good writer when you are left hidden in the dark and there's not even kind of a little hint of suspicion, unless I'm like dumb and I can't see it. Like maybe you guys have picked up on it, but I haven't. So yeah, but that is the update. I'm going to continue reading until about 11 o'clock, which is in 25 minutes, because then I'm going to get like properly settled down, lay down in bed, and I'm going to continue Getaway on my Kindle, which by the way guys, so good. If you have a Kindle, well, you don't even need a Kindle, you just need your phone. You just need to go on Wattpad and search Getaway by Bazooka and then read it, because it's so good. And Runaway, 5 stars for both so far. Surprise guys, I'm back. I just wanted to read out this quote that I really liked, so I just thought I'd whip out the camera and read it. It says, "Love is maddening, Alex. It's sickening, frightening, embarrassing, depressing. It turns us into the people we swore we'd never be. When I first held you in my arms, I felt terrified. I felt like my heart was walking outside of my body, and I'd have to send that heart to school, to football practice, to Vincenzo's place, and trust it would come home to me safely. If you're not absolutely terrified, you're not doing it right." I love that. I love the way that was written. Right, so I've actually just been reading for like the last half an hour while I've been waiting for my boyfriend to pick me up. I hate driving, so whenever there's an opportunity for him to drive instead of me, I will be taking it. But anyway, I am now 260 pages into Daybreak, so we have a little over 100 pages left, which is kind of crazy. Like I said earlier on in the vlog, this is definitely a book that you can binge. Like, I don't know what it is, because it's not even as if like the text is like big or anything, you know, that like I'm going through it quickly. But for some reason, I can just read like 60 pages and it will just fly. So, I mean, that's a positive. That's what you want in a book. Like, you want to forget your reading, you want to forget the page count and, you know, the time that's passed, I suppose. There's been a significant thing happen with the stalker. Now, I don't really want to, I'm not going to say who the stalker is. I will in a second, but I'll do a spoiler warning. We find out who the stalker is, so that's kind of finished now. But obviously there is still like 100 and odd pages left, and now we are dealing with, obviously his dad is still missing, but there's just been like a sighting of him, so that's now coming into the picture a little bit more to the forefront. So I think that's going to be the main kind of conflict now. This book is quite heavy like heavily focused on depression and dealing with depression and how it affects daily lives, how it affects the people around them. They have, like, he has Ophelia now, essentially, you know, he has his family, his sisters, and he has all this money and things, but he still has this depression. Ophelia deals with a lot of grief because of her parents. She deals with a lot of, you know, guilt because of what has happened and what kind of she is essentially caused through her drive for revenge. So there's dealing with a lot of heavy emotions in this book, so definitely, you know, be warned on that, because it does talk about that in quite a lot of detail. However, I think the way Autumn Woods describes the depression and the way these characters are going through it is really, really, really good and well written. Spoilers now to who the stalker is. So, hello? Okay, he's here, so I need to be quick. But spoiler, I will skip to this point if you don't want to know who the stalker is, otherwise stay with me. So the stalker was Laura from the last one, who Ophelia gave the tapes to, and basically Laura was like saying, you've just left me, like, you've just done what everyone else has done. You took from me, I trusted you with these tapes. You didn't even use them, because she didn't actually release it. Obviously Laura did. So Laura was the one that released the tapes in order to get her revenge, and then she's mad at Ophelia for not following through with her revenge and instead still being like cozy up to Alex, which of course to Laura doesn't look good when Ophelia said that she hated the Corbo Greens. But then Ophelia now feels the guilt of because Laura's dead, by the way. Ophelia feels the guilt of Laura's death now on her, because she said to Alex, because Alex was asking who's Laura, and Ophelia was like, Laura is me if I didn't have you. And I was like, oh. Something bad just happened, guys. Oh yeah, major spoilers. If you don't want to hear it, skip to this point. Alex has just been attacked by one of his colleagues, and it turns out his dad had obviously planned it, attacked him in the elevator, chloroformed him or whatever. Then Fleur and Ophelia have just gone to check on him, and Ophelia has obviously seen the elevator and knows what's going on. And she says she finds a crowbar in one of the cupboards, and my fear for his safety melts everything else away. All the possible decisions and what should I do's converge into a single plan. I'm a woman possessed. Oh my gosh. This is so cute. That's so sweet. Also, look at the art at the end. Oh, that was so cute. Guys, we're finished. Okay, I'm just taking this off and holding it because I just feel like it, so yeah. I'm going to give this book a 4 out of 5. Mainly because I did just prefer the plot to the first one. I think sometimes it can be hard to beat the first one though, because obviously the romance, the development of the romance in the first one is it was really good, you know what I mean? And then the angst at the ending and the stalker plot, the first one was amazing. I do, however, love how this one ended. I just found the first one a little bit more entertaining. However, like I said, I absolutely love the ending. I think it was perfect. I think it is what was needed to happen, and I think it kind of, it matched what I would have expected of the ending. What happened to his dad, what happened to all of them, their relationship, their development, their growth through their depression and their grief, and trying to make sense of it and understand it. I really loved how they all grew. The sisters, the mom, everyone really grew and developed, and yeah, it was really beautiful story just to see them turn into people so strong and confident and, you know, loving of each other. So that just on its own was amazing. And I really liked Ophelia and Alex's ending. I think it was really wholesome, really sweet, and exactly how it should have turned out for them. So yeah, overall I think that was a really, really good sequel. I think in together overall, I think the duology is one of the best I've read, and I would highly recommend it for anyone that has not read it. You know, we have an academic setting, it's very gothic and mysterious, especially with the stalker plot. I really, really love the setting with Sorrow Song. Everything I think is amazing. Yeah, so I really enjoyed that. That is the vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know, sometimes I don't know what to vlog, I don't know what to update you guys on. I'm still kind of figuring it out as I go. So I hope you guys did enjoy this vlog. If you have read this book or this duology, please let me know your opinions in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.